Hello and welcome to the Bel-E and Scratch podcast. I'm your host, Bel-E.
And I am your co-host, Scratch.
Let me just scoot a little bit closer there. And tonight, well, once again, nothing super duper interesting happened. I mean, I don't want to talk about the insurance guy.
Nothing we're going to pull out that's going on in the current events right now.
Yeah, not that we can talk about and still be on YouTube.
I think we can infer to it.
Sure, I mean we can infer, to get past the bots, but at the same time, it's like I don't even want to comprehend what's happening in the modern world. But then again, I suppose that's everybody this year.
Yeah, you could say that we are we're as organized as a voting ballot lately. See, that's how you can interject current events into the dialogue.
Excuse me.
Yes.
Yeah, at least until some bunch of people just aching for a witch hunt starts to go like, now how dare you? Honestly and truly, you know what's so screwed up? The only thing not the only thing, but the primary thing that I kept thinking about the entire time, what was it, Nevada that was having issues? If I remember correctly,
there's a list.
No, I know there's a list, but the main
I don't
one.
know about the main one there. I mean,
the main one that was getting dunked on by memes, I think it was Nevada.
Oh, okay. In that respect, probably.
Here's the thing.
Based on meme association.
Yeah.
Sure, why not?
Here's the thing that I don't understand, based on the fact that Nevada was like one of the top states having issues with that. Do you know what's inside of Nevada? I'll give you a minute.
What's inside Nevada?
Las Vegas. And what
Bonanza?
is... Well, yeah, probably. But Las Vegas is in Nevada.
Oh, yeah.
Do you know what Las Vegas is there for?
Chisel you out of every dime you got.
Yeah. It's a gambling town. It's like, it's the gambling town. Let's face it. In terms of the United States, in terms of a gambling town,
yes,
there's like Las Vegas, and then that's it.
There's Atlantic City.
Well, yeah, sure. But even then,
and then then there's the local indigenously owned casino,
which to some people that don't count as gambling. Yeah, it's a bar and grill. You just pay a little extra to play.
Ooh, look at that floor show. Oh man, yes, Nevada is
home to Las Vegas, which is gambling.
That's it.
So you would think that being able to count is among that state's highest.
Oh.
I got you, didn't I? I was waiting for you to figure it out. Like, where are you going with this? Bam! Gotcha.
Yeah.
I gotcha. You think that Nevada would be among the nation's leading in terms of counting?
That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I don't care what the result is. The fact that there was any mystery at all.
Yeah, that's a little sus, I'ma say.
I'm saying you guys are. I mean, you're gonna mail that in. Good grief.
Literally.
Yeah, you guys should have arithmetic down.
Mm-hmm. They'd be like the one state that does have arithmetic down.
1, 2, 3. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Mm-hmm. It was that was just the weirdest one.
That is an outrageous point.
Yeah, like
completely accurate.
Yeah, because here's the thing. There was also some issues in Georgia, and I could go, okay, people in Georgia,
football and entertainment. Okay.
Well, it's football, barbecue, Jesus. So that's most of the southeastern part of the United States, which for the most part.
Throw in some boiled peanuts, yeah.
Yeah, give or take, depending on the state. And Louisiana is like, you got to throw some voodoo in there too, because that's just how they roll. Apparently, no disrespect. I'm just that just seems to be a trait.
We love you.
Yeah, we love that you drink. But here's the thing, Georgia, okay, kind of, sort of makes sense why they can't count. What was another state that had issues? I don't want to go look it up because I don't want to spend too much time on this.
I could kick them all out to you, but I believe there's
some copy bots of Roman. Subject is a little too hot right now.
I don't know.
I would personally say the subject's a little too hot right now. Which is why I don't want to give too much details nor talk about it at great length, but we're already here. But yeah, that was the one...
The state where Jim Harbaugh coaches the Wolverine football team.
There you go.
There you go.
Guess that kind of makes sense for them to have issues.
The state that is famous for a cracked Bel and Benjamin Franklin are having some issues.
Okay, that's still a little. That's still on the little like you guys should be able to count, but Nevada.
Yeah, Nevada.
Seriously,
really?
Like you could have picked Utah, and I would have said makes sense.
Maybe.
But Nevada. Nevada. That's what makes I don't want to get. I'm not getting into the tinfoil hatness, but
I can tell you.
That right there told me, like, oh, something's going on, because Nevada should not have issues with counting. That's basically what Las Vegas trained you for. Well, they're dealers, at least.
Yeah. No, I learned something. I'm a big boxing fan, and I learned something a long time ago. Any fight in Las Vegas, it has been my experience, in my opinion, that the longer it takes to announce the winner, somebody's getting screwed. So I learned that from watching a lot of boxing matches. One in particular, in my opinion, is Larry Holmes versus Carl the Truth Williams. But anyway, that's a story for another time. Anyway,
yeah, one that you'll have to explain to me, because I'm not the person that's up on the boxing.
I'm a big Larry Holmes fan.
Oh yeah,
I know who won that fight. I watched it. Yes, sir. But yeah, no, the fact that they can't.
The fact they couldn't count. That was very, very sus. I'm not gonna say, regardless of the outcome, that was very sus, as the kids say that play Among Us.
Allegedly.
Hey, there's no ostrich around here. Don't you say allegedly.
I don't know. There's a lot of figures with their head in the sand.
Yeah, like I said, I don't want to keep talking about it. It's a little hot right now, but at the same time, it's like, what else is happening? There's not a whole lot personally that's happened to us.
It's one of the few things you can pull something funny out of.
Yeah,
There's a couple other things going on. You can't get a good laugh out of it.
No, because it's kind of pathetic and sad and potentially treasonous.
Well, I'm just talking about everybody having issues with the condition this season.
Well, this has been a terrible year.
It's been great. It's definitely
when people talk about the 99 versus the 1%, I think it's the 0.01% that is not having any issues this year.
Yeah.
Like the people who are so far removed from the system that we don't even know who they are. We never know who they are, like throughout history or anything like that.
And then everybody else is up against the blade.
Even the rich folk, because, people who own businesses, cars, shipping, even they have to contend with the beer flu because their employees are dropping like flies. And that cuts into your margins right there. So this really is not a good year for the vast majority of anyone on this planet. It's the only reason that, personally, I'm not kicking myself in the teeth for, admittedly stupid decisions that have been made and stupid decisions that have been made towards me.
Well, everything's up in the air right now. Just like your situation with the head-on hit and run thingy.
Yeah, and the insurance guy.
It's one of the.
That is
one of those things that didn't go according to social parameters.
No,
the situation has put us here. That's where we are.
Yeah, I don't per se regret the situation because I got Jareth out of the deal, which if some of you watch that last podcast, you'll know about Jareth. I like Jareth, my car. But, I don't regret the accident per se. I just regret the fact that, my shoulders and upper back is, weirdly sore when, it's like I was telling you earlier, when I was on the rear deltoid machine, I felt the same type of pain that I felt, there was like a Thursday a couple weeks ago when I just felt as sick as a dog. And it was the same type of pain I had from, when I was on that deltoid machine.
But it wasn't as bad.
Right? It wasn't like
or intense. I don't mean intense. I mean, did it linger? Did it have the same effect on your body as it did last time?
Basically, as I was, pulling or as I was pushing the arms of the machine back to do the rear deltoids, there was just it wasn't a hitch. It was more like whenever I clenched that muscle group, it just it reminded me of that day when I just was just feverish, sore, tired, had to go to the bathroom a lot. It was like it was kind of like in the same vein as when people get food poisoning, they remember the when people people food poisoning, they remember what food gave it to them.
Boy and howdy.
Yeah, so it was kind of like this, an echo of a disease or an echo of this horrifying thing that happened to you. It had the same intensity, but it didn't linger. Like, it kind of made me stop doing the deltoids, because after the first couple of reps, I was like, oh no, because it just brought me back to that day when I was just miserable.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you listen to what your body's telling you.
Oh, yeah.
Your body's telling you that, you fight through the pain, but that's a different kind of pain. That's not a pain created by activity.
No, there's a difference.
That's a deep tissue bruise kind of thing.
Oh, yeah, there's a difference between...
It takes time for that to heal.
Yeah, there's a difference between something like soreness and actual pain.
Right.
Which, me being, young and, I guess subconsciously thinking I'm invincible, not actively thinking so, because that's very egotistical and wrong.
Yeah.
I just, 3 days after the wreck, I just figured, all right, I'm not sore anymore. I'm ready to get back to the daily grind.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah. Sure.
I wasn't thinking I was invincible. I was thinking like, oh, that's it. Done. Nope.
No.
I'm done.
No, I mean, it happens. It's your first time.
Yeah, first wreck.
You'll learn.
Mm-hmm.
That's what it's all about.
Learn to have
live and learn.
Yeah.
Learn and live.
Yeah, no. I don't, like I said, I don't regret it. I just wasn't anticipating the after effects. But anyway.
Yeah, well, now you understand that phrase when people would say, I feel like I've been hit by a truck.
That makes sense. Okay. Jesus.
Yeah.
That makes so much more sense now. Well.
Been hit by a truck.
Mm-hmm. Well, in my case, it was an SUV, but...
SUV truck.
Whatever. Yeah, as far as I know, they still have not caught that guy. Which, like I said, or I think I've said this previously, it's not that I don't care. It's not that I really don't.
Right.
But, it's probably not going to happen.
I wouldn't.
No, this isn't something that you hold on.
You get a notification, I would promise you, and then this would be better off. Just let it go. And then just out of the blue, you just get a notification one day.
Yeah.
And you go, oh, okay, well, that's cool. And then you continue to live as you were. Mm-hmm. It's not going to go not going to be a confirmation of anything.
Oh,
it's
no.
just going to be, you know, hey, okay.
Yeah, this isn't really something that you hold on to as a grudge 40 years in the making, and you become John Wick over it. No,
I wouldn't.
No, I wouldn't. Not over this.
No.
But yeah, that was just the only. Yeah, that was just the only thing that was just like, gotta let this go. Everything else, But anyway, I already spent like almost 2 hours talking about this last time.
Yeah.
Which I didn't anticipate. I was just like, I gotta get all this out so that when people ask me, oh my god, what happened? I just forward them the link to the video. I've actually done that at work. My supervisor goes, oh my god, whose car is that? And I go, oh, that's mine. I'm paying down on it.
You're like, wait a minute.
And they're like, what?
Click.
Yeah. And he goes, oh, where'd you get a new car? I literally just forward him the video. Just listen to this. I don't want to talk about it anymore.
Is that what... I can't even get it out. Is that what we've come to?
What are you talking about?
That's outrageous.
What are you talking about, outrageous? It's convenient. We already talked about it. I already spent 2 hours talking about it. What do you mean we're talking?
I mean...
What do you mean that's what we're coming to?
What a way to monetize your pain.
Monetize the pain. I think that's going to be the title of my next album or something like that.
Monetize my pain.
No, monetize the pain.
Monetize the pain.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Oh, that's good. I didn't even think about that.
It's got to take more thought than running around in your underwear in front of a camera. Oh. Hey, look at me. I'm doing something stupid. I'm going to light myself on fire. All right, brother. Wait a second. I'm getting some popcorn.
Yeah, I'm getting the video camera.
Good grief.
We might as well just, just drink to that. Yeah.
Gee whiz.
Yeah, that did happen.
Monetize the pain.
Yeah, that's actually our lifestyle at this point.
Dibs.
Trademark. All rights reserved.
All rights reserved. No.
Yeah, we're gonna get a T-shirt with that on it. I gotta write. Actually, I'm writing that down. Monetize. MON.
Yeah.
How do you spell monetize? Where's my phone? I.
There's the in there.
Yeah, hang on. You keep going. Oh.
That's too funny.
Dang it, Google, stop popping up on my phone. Stop listening to me.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll do that later.
Tracking, listening, leading, guiding.
Yeah.
Recalculating.
That is still my favorite commercial.
Great.
I'm trying to think. Well, since I guess we're talking about the car wreck, I might as well segue into this while I'm trying to figure out how to spell monetize.
Oh boy.
I might write good. That don't mean I spell good. Those are two completely different disciplines, in my opinion, and no one can tell me otherwise. Speaking of car wreck, do you, Mr. ER Nurse Man, have like peculiar stories, anything similar to what happened to me, where you just brought the person who's like, oh hey, it's no problem, and their brain is hanging out of their skull?
Oh yeah, I mean, I got a dude one time. Oh well, I mean, it just depends.
No, I'm not asking you like what's the worst thing you've seen.
Oh,
just
no,
like stuff. No, like that's.
On a guy one time, he got T-boned from the side. He was a driver, had his window up, and his head popped into the window so hard that it created a suction on his ear.
So he was stuck?
No.
Oh no.
No, the ear was stuck.
Oh.
But the rest of him wasn't. So
that
they bring this dude in. And he is definitely not symmetrical anymore.
Oh.
He's a little less aerodynamic as well. And they've got a little bag that they're carrying behind him. I'm like, oh, I feel like a carnival barker in that job. Step right up here and see what's in the bag, and it's like, oh, okay. Hey, man, we're going to have to sew this back on. I don't know how well it'll work.
But you'll have it.
Your hats will fit less uncomfortable. Oh, man. Yeah, no.
That's brutal.
It is. It is brutal. Now, we sewed that thing back on, and, when he went out, I don't know.
Yeah, I assume.
I don't know if he kept it, but hey.
I don't know.
So I couldn't tell.
Dang. That, I found MONETIZE. There's 2 E's.
Oh, sweet.
All right. So we have our official merch for when we eventually, garner an audience. MONETIZE the pain. That is, I think that's what I'm going to title this podcast.
Trademark.
Oh yeah, we're going to trademark the crap out of this. MONETIZE the pain.
Go to buy a coffin with it on there one day.
I
the Gene Simmons business marketing manual in my back pocket. I love that guy.
Oh yeah, personally, Gene Simmons is probably a butthole, but
hey man, keep wearing that hat.
Yes, it's more like a helmet at this point.
Keep that hat on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, keep that hat on.
Yeah.
No, he's cool, man.
He's a businessman.
He is the epitome of a businessman.
Yeah, I don't make fun of people who've clearly done well for themselves.
Yeah,
he slapped Kiss on everything.
That's his bit, man. That's it. Yeah, I saw one of those Kiss funerals.
Mm-hmm.
Thinking it was shots from the guy that was a guitarist for Pantera, Dimebag Darrell. I think it's his funeral I'm thinking of. Kiss cough. And man, hey, no disrespect, but
no.
Hey, if you're
gonna go out,
if you're gonna go with a smile. Preferably one that's spitting fire. Sure, man. Hey, that's your business.
Yeah, whatever.
Hey, that's no.
Well, I mean,
it was. I found it quite entertaining. If that was your desire, hey, bully.
Oh yeah. Personally, talking about funeral plans, actually, I have thought about it. Not since the accident, because that would be slightly dysfunctional.
A little. Well.
But I've thought about this for a good while. Yeah. There is a YouTube channel that I love, like one of my top 5 most favorite YouTube channels. It's called Ask a Mortician. I think I've shown you some of her videos. The woman who runs it, her name is, I believe, Caitlin Dowry or Doley, or I'm sorry if I mispronounce her name. But she, I believe, is the funeral director for this I think it's called the Order of the Good Death or something like that. And I respect the heck out of her. Because here's the thing. In terms of, like, the death industry, you don't really see behind the curtain, per se.
No, you don't.
Like, you have to go to school or you have to be involved in the business somehow to learn about what they do, and she just lays it out on the table, and I appreciated that.
You don't get to understand it by some casual association.
No, not a casual association, but through her. Through her, you do. Like, she talks about embalming, cremation, like what degrees of heat is what point your body will disintegrate at, and such.
What's the name of her channel again?
Ask a Mortician.
Ask a Mortician.
It is one of my favorite things because, to me, when I discovered her channel, I was kind of I don't want to say I was afraid of death, but I was very perplexed by it. Even to this day, I am still very curious about it. Because obviously it's like to borrow a line from one of the best TV shows ever created, in terms of this mortal plane, death is the final frontier. Literally. Like, it seems to be one of the few unexplored. All right, Trekker. It's like one of the few last territories left to be explored. But here's the thing: once you go over, you're not coming back. Like, there's no kid.
Unless you want to scare the crap out of everybody.
I would do that. I would do that, but otherwise, no. There's no Starship Enterprise going into the realm of death, and Kirk comes back and he just rattles off his findings. None of that. There's no Mr. Spock waving the tricorder, no Dr. McCoy just screaming at Spock. Because that was like 30% of that man's job was just cussing out Spock.
Yeah, really.
I appreciated it, but still, it's like, dude, do your job. You're a doctor. Stop cussing at Spock.
Yeah, waiting for his eyes to pop out of his head.
That was actually one of my favorite parts of the episode, was when they're just going at it by like two old biddies.
Your face will freeze like that, right? No.
That is highly illogical, Dr. McCoy.
It was funny.
Oh yeah. But back when I was like super perplexed by it, she just lets you in on the process of it. The routine, what standard funeral home practices, what you can do. Now, this isn't like how to avoid scams per se, but one of the main things that she talks about is her stance on embalming. She basically said that when she explained the process of embalming, you take all the blood out and you take all the fluids out, and you stick it full of chemicals like formaldehyde,
preservative.
Yeah, and preservatives, and she said that unless the body was being transported over a long distance, say across countries or across a couple of states, where the point of embalming is to prevent decay. Which means if you're just going to be transporting the body from the funeral directly into the plot or into the crematory or wherever you're putting yourself or the remains. Oh, excuse me. Bourbon. You don't need to have embalming just to go from mortuary to wake to plot or wherever you're going to be.
Yeah.
Because it's kind of a waste of money.
Well, I mean, it's more of a functional part of the process.
I get it.
The issue is that people deal with things differently. So,
I get it.
Your approach to following step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, somebody else may not be necessarily wired to handle it.
Yeah.
And I think that's why it's the law, I would imagine, everybody to be more uniform. I know it doesn't catch all of them because there's always a story that comes out every now and then.
Yeah. As far as I know, it's not illegal to not get embalmed, but she has talked about how funeral home directors or just funeral homes in general can kind of shade everything in grays to make it seem like it's illegal, or that you're doing a disservice to this family member by not embalming them. That has happened in the past.
If it was an establishment I owned, I would present it in the way of, if they come here, they get this.
All right.
That'd be the only. Because see, that would take the emotion out of it. That would take conditions out of it. That would take a subjective checklist recipe. We let this slide, don't let this slide, yada yada yada. I don't know. I mean, I've been through that process, and we have this tendency to see the decisions that we make every day, like walking down the aisle of a grocery store. And hey, look, there's so many different brands of beans. I think I'll just stand here for a moment and consider, because you don't necessarily have to, maybe you have to, don't. But in those types of situations, man, it's, I don't know, something a little more uniform kind of you're almost begging to be led through. You put a lot of trust in those people. I mean, do they pad their sales? I don't know. Probably, maybe not. Who knows? But I would, if it was me, I would just make it mandatory. I understand why it's done.
No, I get you.
And there's always a percentage of people that there is enough people who agree with that position to keep a business like that alive. No pun intended. Anyway.
Monetize the pain.
Monetize the pain. I have to write a catchy tune.
We'll get there. We'll probably make that the intro to the show. We get a song together and just be like, monetize the pain. Something rhymes with pain. But no, the reason I bring it up is if I have the means, the monetary means.
Sure.
Here's the thing. She has, I have nothing written that's been previewed by a lawyer. Actually, I have nothing written down. This is like my first audio recording of any definite finality plans. She has inspired me to formulate a step-by-step procedure of how I want to be handled once I go down over that rainbow, so to speak.
Oh, okay.
Like, I want a burial, but with a twist. Like no embalming, just straight into the ground. Just put me in a pine box, just right into the dirt. But you put a tree. You put an apple tree over where I'm laid.
Oh yeah.
And you probably could put a stone in front of the tree, but definitely definitely a tree.
I think that's cool. I dig that the whole tree over a grave kind of thing.
Yeah, but because first of all, people get weird. It's like,
what you get buried in should be biodegradable.
Oh yeah, hence the pine box. But no, it's the whole thing. People get weird with burials. It's like, carbon footprints. You're just making, just taking up land.
I have any idea how people get over that stuff.
Yeah, so I'm like, okay, I'm gonna. So those people who were just weird over that, I'm just gonna go, okay, how about this? I'm going to negate any of that and plant a tree. And not only is it gonna be a tree, it's gonna be an apple tree. And it's even better because, like, decades, if not centuries, if that tree's still up, people are gonna have no clue. And that will be...
the apples taste funny?
Yeah. Corpse apple tree. I almost said pineapple for some reason. And I'm like, that'll be my final revenge. Well, not a revenge, but my final practical joke.
Hard corpse cider.
Oh, yeah.
It doesn't have quite the ring to it.
Granny Smith is people. That's exactly what I'm going to do.
Oh, you're making me hurt. Shoot.
Monetize the pain.
Monetize the pain.
Monetize the pain. I think we just found the show's slogan. Dang.
Definitely a slug line.
Oh yeah, that's definitely a slug line if I ever heard one. That's gonna be our. Oh, we're gonna drive this thing into the friggin' ground. I swear.
Why not?
Oh yeah, we invented it.
Who's stopping us?
The government.
Gubbub.
Government.
Gubbub.
But yeah, yeah. I don't mean to go directly into car crash and then death plans. It was just a segue.
Oh yeah.
I don't know. I just wanted to talk about it because every time I bring up, hey, I want to talk about my my plans for when I get for when I die. Everyone's all like, but you're you're in your 20s. Why are you talking about when you're gonna die? And I'm just like, dude.
Well, it's a symptom of the culture.
Yeah, nihilism, like a murder.
People spend more time planning their funeral than they do their life.
I'm not trying to say that I do that, plan my funeral better than I plan my life. I'm not trying to do that. I'm just saying, hey, I want to do that. Just get it out. For me personally, it's get it out of the way.
Get it out of the way.
Just get it out of the way. Like, don't, like, okay, I have this in place. I don't know how I'm gonna do it, but I'm gonna do it. That's my final, final thing.
Oh,
like, just do that. And then the rest of my life is like, okay, I got the ending planned. Now we gotta,
list.
in terms of a checklist.
Yeah.
Or in some weird metaphorical way, it's more like a all-life bucket list. Because technically, every to-do list is a bucket list if you think about it.
Yeah. Eggs, milk, store.
Tree. Into the ground.
Pay electricity. Build final resting place monument for myself this afternoon.
But no, I do agree with you, the fact that there is a lot of nihilism. Like, holy Christ.
Well, people have been raised on it. I mean, that's been a common complaint from
the get-go.
From the get-go. Make a pair of boots out of that rat.
What?
No, from
nihilism.
Nihilism has been a complaint. A nihilism in the entertainment,
media, gaming.
Media has been a complaint from the right side of the political fence, or at least a generation.
Oh yeah, and now it's really come to fruition. Because here's the thing, Gen Z has got to be, in my opinion, I know, me lecturing someone older than me about how things are going on. Like, you don't understand, man. I ain't trying to do that because that's stupid. I never had that phase. Excuse me. I hope I didn't.
No, not really.
But
you might have felt a certain way, but you can just go jack somebody into a wall and tell them about it because they're not going to listen anyway.
Exactly. So what was
Even
the point?
If you're younger, they say you're just a kid. If you're older, they say, "What the hell do you know, old man or old woman?"
Yeah, exactly.
Like that. If you're their age, they're like, because they're dumb. They don't know they're dumb. They're looking at you like, "Well, you're my age, so you're dumb too. So what do you know?" They're people that don't have they don't seek wisdom. They
just meander.
They just meander and they don't want it.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah, I have now, mind you, I try not to be on TikTok a lot. I try, even though it is very easy to go down that rabbit hole and not come back out till like 2 hours later.
That's what I hear.
Oh, yeah. No, I like TikTok. I used to think it was cancer, and it still kind of is cancer, but you just have to subscribe to whatever you like, be it the D&D talk, which is what I like, the D&Ds. There's the fashion TikTok. There's the acting TikTok. There's some stuff on TikTok that I'm not entirely sure how it even gets past the censors, but that's neither here nor there. No, there is a lot of nihilism, a lot of wanting to not exist on this planet anymore, wanting to self-exile from the island, so to speak.
Yeah, there's some really serious
and not even in a really serious way, like someone who is just, crying out for help. No, they're making jokes about it.
It doesn't even make sense.
Yeah, they're writing songs about how they want to be yeeted off the planet.
Yeah.
Just yeet me into the sun. And they're just jokes and songs about it. And I'm like, okay, continue playing, because this is a good song, but Jesus.
No, you can't have it both ways. I mean, if you believe... You got two shots at the existence of human beings, and one of them that I would imagine is more a part of the secular world is defined in a book that was written in 1860. When you start talking about transitions of human behavior, this is where we have come to. I think there is a measured attempt for people to embrace this type of mindset, which I feel is a negative mindset. I find it bondage, and if only for the main reason that that's the way it was explained to me over the since I was a kid. This type of approach to life, that it is a negative
That life is, basically the final. What was it?
It's a self-hating mentality that's gotten into everybody based on
true
characteristics that
I'm just
really
saying
don't have anything to do with anything. It's just there are forces in play that are using these characteristics against each other, in my opinion. And they are using this nihilistic mindset that people are in the middle of. I can remember growing up in a time and when I felt, now to look back on it, I felt that I was told things to try to get me to dislike myself and dislike the culture around me, but it was what I was born into. I didn't embrace the negative aspects of it because I was told not to, and I said okay. But then there were things that I was criticized about. It just seemed to be a part of the community that I was a part of, and I didn't understand that. It was like, okay,
you just grew to see that you grew to see the flaws in the group circle of people that you hung around in, right?
Well, yeah, I got to see the flaws in the people where it came from, and the ones that were extremely dysfunctional then, and they are to this day. I put them away. But then there were things that didn't make sense that would get criticized.
What do you mean?
Anything from as simple as the conversation over a dinner table.
Oh. Which, to be fair, has kind of come back.
It has. In a
different sort of way, but ultimately it has come back.
What I began to see was once we got beyond the true elements of someone's culture that is negative toward another culture, and it's just everybody agrees, nope, can't do that. The side you're on agrees to that. The side people on the other side agree to that. Nope, you can't do that. And then once we covered all of those, we began to go into these things that people would start questioning, and what I couldn't figure out was why it seemed so important. It got to a point where I felt like an adult that this is what's going on when I was in elementary school. I felt like an adult was telling me that I should dislike myself for things that I had no control over, like the color of my hair or the color of my eyes. You understand what I'm saying? And I didn't understand that. That didn't make any sense to me.
Oh, that still happens.
It does. That's what I'm saying. I think there's a lot of people that have been fed on that are negative toward themselves based on that.
Or they're negative towards other people based on that.
Exactly, that dysfunctional input.
Yeah.
They've never become self-aware about it to say, hey,
who are you to tell me what is negative versus what is positive?
Well, every like I said, there's a couple of things that everybody can agree on.
Yeah.
Because they are actions that are not productive to a functional society, and I get that. And then there's those things that telling me it's like saying, I grew up in a childhood that had a close association with a lot of legalism growing up as a child in the ministry, and I saw a lot of people that would they would make these judgment calls. This person's not like us because they don't wear a tie, or you know what I'm saying? It's some kind of superficial thing that really doesn't make a whole difference.
You mean that this
that
is
has
just
branched out into the secular world.
You mean that whole thing of, now this is just one example of what he's talking about now, listeners, that whole thing of certain denominations, they do this whole, white button up with a tie, clean cut, short hair, and they look down on folk who have longer, unkempt hair, longer, unkempt clothing, just because...
Yes.
of the doctrine that is spoken.
Right.
Which is just weird.
It's the exact. There are people that will push back on this.
Yeah.
I don't care. You're you're outgunned. I'm telling you, it is the exact same dynamic that is taking place today.
It's just sociology.
It's just exactly. It doesn't have anybody goes, well, we're not religious. I personally, I think you could define as religion. You definitely define as a cult.
Yeah, there's a difference between religious and spiritual.
Absolutely. And
like the area we live in, but I don't want to talk about that.
But it's this mentality of you're not and all it is you're not acting like one of us. That's it.
Yeah, which is sociology. Like everything that is happening, all of this is everything is happening is just sociology in a nutshell. We're in a group together.
Right. You
don't look like us. You don't act like us. You don't talk like us. Right. Therefore, you're not in our group, and therefore, and thusly, we are opposed to you.
We're going to minimize your humanity.
Yes.
So we don't have a problem with you either being marginalized. Oh, you brought it on yourself. You smart enough. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. So when you strike out at people like that, you're the people that talk about karma.
And yet.
And namaste. Okay, I get it. All right, I do. I've studied those systems too. I get it. But you're cursing yourself when you don't extend that type of consideration to other people.
Not to get too political.
No, it's not a political thing at all. It's cultural. It's social. Like I said, it's the herd mentality. Human beings are herd animals. They always have
herd, tribalistic, whatever you want to call it.
Whatever you want to call it.
Like again, it's sociology. I took a couple classes on this.
That's right.
Holiday
Inn Express.
Yeah, taking those psychology classes, it was the weirdest thing because you find things that you've seen in the real world outside of a classroom. And then all of a sudden you go into the classroom and they have a name for it. That broke my brain so hard.
It was amazing. It was like, oh, whoa.
Yeah, that broke my brain so hard.
I saw that. Oh, that's the name. Oh my God.
Yeah, it threw me for a loop is when you would see stuff like that and go, oh, it's actually this. And they point to a chalkboard or a smart board, whatever the heck you want to call it. And then I'm just sitting there going, what? There's a name for that?
I still can't spell it.
Oh, yeah.
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 No, that's it.
Yeah, no, I get you. I'm just, ew.
It's just a shame.
Well, here's the thing about the nihilistic culture. Typically, now, mind you, I can be completely wrong, but this is just my educated guess on the matter.
Sure.
From my perspective, being neck deep in this current nihilistic culture.
Take a shot.
Okay, one of only two things. Well, not
no
only.
Pun intended.
Why? There are two outcomes to what is going to happen in terms of this nihilistic culture at large.
Yeah.
One is it eventually will get flushed away by the upcoming generations because, sometimes this happens a lot, actually. Usually what happens is, sometimes the parents are one way and their kids can grow up to be the exact opposite.
Yes.
That happened to one of my theater teachers back in college, where his dad was a hard-driving Republican trucker from the state of Texas.
Ooh.
And he was just all gung-ho and red. And his son grows up to be a theater teacher.
Yeah.
Which is almost the exact polar opposite of that.
Theater teacher versus a Texas trucker.
Yeah.
I'd say those were on different ends of the spectrum.
Oh yeah, he definitely was on that left side of the spectrum, which I didn't have a problem with him. He taught a pretty decent class. He made some decisions that I personally didn't agree with in terms of how he taught. But, whatever.
Whatever.
So, I have seen that happen where the child or the younger generation will become the exact opposite of the previous generation.
Yep.
So that is a huge possibility of that happening.
It could.
You know, where the next generation after Gen Z or the one after that, they go, you know what?
Well,
I don't want to take any of your nihilistic, boo-hoo, everything sucks mentality. We're going to make things happy.
Well, I'm going to tell you something.
And then we enter the late 90s again.
You know, I was just thinking earlier today, what would be the outcome? What there's going to be after this beer flu, there's going to be
something's going to break loose.
There's going to be some type of cultural shift.
It has to be.
There has to be.
And that's the other thing I'm thinking about. The other thing is, what if that doesn't happen soon enough? That whole generational shift where the next generation is all like sunshine, bird, and rainbows or something like that.
It's my understanding, based on the Great Depression, that the stock market, whatever, the event that was the
crash,
catalyst for the crash happened in 1929.
Yeah.
And the bottom of the event that took place, that events.
Yeah.
Because of course it was a series of dominoes. It had to be.
Yeah, the stock market crash in those. It didn't just they didn't just wake up one day.
Honestly, the full bottom of it wasn't really felt till like 34, is my understanding. So I would say until we get a couple years out, we won't fully. I'd say, can it be done in a year? Man, that's tough.
Yeah, that's kind of tough.
Year and a half, 2. I would say a conservative estimate would be 2 years.
Probably.
And we're 7 months into this thing,
give or take.
Well,
no, the other thing I'm thinking about is, here's the thing, nihilism can only go so far.
True.
Here's the thing, when people have the perception that everything is terrible and that nothing's going to change, they tend to get a little uncivil. And my example for that is the Great Britain Depression in the 70s and 80s.
Right.
Where that was obviously there was no plague going on, but the whole thing of no one could find a job, no one could buy food, it gave rise to the punk movement, obviously. But those people were under the impression that every day was going to be terrible till the day they died, so they didn't care one way or another. And I'm thinking at some point there's going to be some sort of group like that, and they're just going to do something.
That's a very good observation. But right now we are dealing with something that, now this is a best case scenario. I wouldn't say strawberries and rainbows. Perspective. But a definitely positive perspective. I think there is a high possibility.
Yeah.
Based on what is going on in the world right now, that it might just stamp out a good bit of this nihilistic attitude that people have, in my opinion, have been manipulated to embrace.
How so?
Well, like I said, I mean, I think what I talked about earlier about complaints from a certain community being brought up about a style of entertainment media over the last 40 years that in their opinion and in mine, I'm not saying it's necessarily based on the media, but there is a nihilistic attitude in the culture today and people today. All this I find it interesting that all the stuff that's happened in the last 20 years hasn't been undone in the last 4 years.
No.
Actually, I've seen this coming since about 2006.
All right.
And definitely when 2000.
You saw the plague coming.
Well, no, I saw a split. Everybody. What's taking place today is my understanding, based on what I've observed in other countries that have tried certain things, that we're growing pains, I believe would be a good way to put it. So, I think that's only natural in some things work out and some things don't, and we're just going to have to find the place that we all can be happy with each other and coexist. But I think the fact that people are literally staring life and death in the face.
Oh yeah,
daily, arguably.
Yeah,
daily. They're considering the possibility of daily. So when you are the thing about nihilism is you don't consider life. You don't find, I could go on and on and on about the way was relayed to me by my father of how back in the 70s there was some certain changes in the culture that went down. There was some certain changes in the legal system that went down that my father specifically told me would devalue life.
Let's not get into that.
He told me very specifically that people would begin to, not only once they devalued any life, they would devalue their own life. I think we are here
at the point where we devalue our own life. So,
but now we're staring.
You're staring actual factual death in the face. On a daily basis.
It's at least crossing your mind.
Oh yeah.
I'm not saying you got to obsess over it and get crazy about it.
But it's there.
But it's there.
Yeah.
And you can't be a functional part of society nowadays with cell phones and computers and
the
TVs
internets.
and the internet and everything. It's you can't get away from it. So it's not like it doesn't cross your mind. So I'm thinking, I'm hoping that one of the positive, and I don't know how negative this thing's going to be before it gets over with.
Oh, because
but one of it will end. Okay, and one of the positive dynamics that develops after, I hope, I would like to see, is that people have a better value of life, period. All life. Because, everybody, what channels, what propels people to dislike other people in a way that doesn't make any sense? They don't value life. You have to see the person on the other side. You have to see them as less human.
That's what they do in wars.
That's how they devalue anything. That's
what propaganda's for.
Any legalized ending of a life in this country, there is absolutely, positively, 100% of the time, there is a narrative that lays on each and every one of these actions that basically can be broken down into say that this person is not a human being. Okay?
Because it's easier to, so to speak, put down something that you don't view as an equal.
Absolutely.
Than someone you do view as an equal.
Absolutely.
Careful there.
The drinking problem. Get my mouth with a
just like airplane.
Just like airplane.
Honestly and truly.
So, that's what I see. That's what I've seen for a long time. I'm hoping that to stare at the Reaper every day wakes people up.
Honestly, I think it has to a certain degree at this particular point, mind you. Now, in a couple months to a couple years down the line, I don't know. But right now, if there is one thing, if there is one thing,
everybody's pals now.
Oh, you have no idea. If there is one thing before this whole beer flu got started that used to make me angry, along the lines that you're talking about,
right?
It was not per se these Gaia worshippers, these Earth Mother worshippers,
right.
People who think that the Earth is an actual being,
right?
But just the people who, not that group per se, but definitely the group of people who, for one reason or another, be it a secular or religious motive, think that the human population is due for a culling of some sort.
Oh well,
you got your wish, Jack.
You got your wish, man.
Like I'm not joking.
Just think, you didn't believe in magic, not really, but you've been blowing out them birthday candles every year. on the same day.
Mm-hmm.
And now you got your wish.
And now you got your wish. I mean, it just...
You better not be wearing a mask to the grocery store.
No, because you haven't earned it. You were talking some mad crap before this happened.
You should all die. Yeah.
And now it's here.
Yeah, get up on that soapbox now, brother.
Yeah. No, it's only left the really hardcore people, which, in my opinion, fair enough. I don't want to mess with you anyway. I just mean the posers.
I just don't like the militant people.
Yeah,
if you want to feel that way, that's your business. If you want to bring it up in conversation, I'm open to a good debate.
But if you're militant and angry about it, that's that dude. No,
yeah,
go away.
Go away.
I mean, it just drove me crazy. I had
act like you, but then I graduated the 5th grade, man.
Yeah.
I got no time for that nonsense.
It drove me crazy. I had a retail job, and one night and now, mind you, what I'm about to say is not word for word what my manager told me. Not precisely word for word, mind you. But it is a close approximation. I was working late, and it was just me and my manager in the store. It was a pretty small store. I don't want to give away where I work because it's sponsorship. Even then, I wouldn't take these guys' money, personally. But I was just doing a retail job. It was a late night, and the store was about to close, and he and I, every now and again, we get to talk. It's basically me and the manager. I don't want to give away his name. I don't want to say too much about him because, God forbid I start talking about this and he finds out.
Yeah.
It's not, it's not like I care. But still, just to be respectful.
Sure.
This dude, we started talking about, I think it was the first Kingsman movie. With Colin Firth, Egon Targon. However you say that dude's name.
Is that Eggsy?
Yeah, that's Eggsy.
Okay.
Samuel L. Jackson playing the antagonist with a lisp for some reason. Yeah, I know. But basically the whole crux of the first Kingsman movie was Samuel L. Jackson is like the head of some cell phone internet conglomerate, whatever. And he devises a plan to essentially cull the human population because he believes that the Earth is an actual being of some sort, and that we are a virus because of the climate change, as they say nowadays, which back then they were calling it global warming, but whatever.
Oh yeah.
So basically, it was just this huge thing surrounding that plot. And we got to, me and my manager at the time, we got to talking about it because I'm thinking like, yeah, and I didn't see it in theater because I thought it was just some dumb action movie that they were just chucking out like nothing, but it was actually really good. And the church scene just blew my mind. If you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
And he and I got to talking about the antagonist, and like I said, this is not word for word because it's been a couple years. This guy,
yeah,
we started talking about the antagonist, and he agreed with the antagonist. To which I'm thinking,
Samuel L. Jackson is my man.
Yeah, at first I was thinking like, yeah, okay, it has to be that or something like that. Okay, the whole thing of like, you can talk about, your beliefs.
Sure.
And, I have personally exclaimed that we needed a new plague, and I got my wish, so I'm also one of these people. But not because I think the Earth is a being of its own.
Boo.
It was mostly just because I was angry in traffic, but that's neither here nor there.
Man, if that's the criteria that qualifies you, we're all in trouble.
Exactly. Exactly. But here's the thing. He agreed with the antagonist of the Kingsman. I forget the character's name, but you know who I'm talking about if you've seen the movie. So I asked him, oh, okay, so, what part? The whole, the culling of the humanity? Like, what's your logic here? Here's the thing. When I get into the same room with people, not particularly of this opinion, just in general, when they say something that's a little far out of the field, so to speak.
Yeah.
I'm just trying to figure out, okay, what's your logic? Like, how did you come to this conclusion? I'm legitimately curious.
My specific intention is not necessarily to poke holes in what you're getting ready to tell me. I am genuinely interested.
Yeah, we're not trying to be jerks, you know. We're just asking you questions about how you feel, what you believe, how do you logic your way out of certain stumbling blocks here and there, all that.
Yeah, and then I'm going to beat you over the head with it.
Well, that's you. Well, that's you. I just kind of stand there and go, okay.
I'm sorry.
Yeah, I just kind of stand there and go, okay, bud, okay.
Sure.
Because I'm just not in the mood to just be verbally combative with these guys, because you can't change their minds.
No.
There's no point, in my opinion.
No.
But here's the thing. Not only did he agree with him, and I asked him, can you elaborate on that fact? He said now mind you, this guy is like in his mid to late 40s. This guy has a family. He has a wife and a child.
Yeah.
And he says to me some of the most serial killer-ish crap I have heard in my life.
Oh, he's got a kid.
Yeah, that's the other part. But here's the thing. He said like one of the most serial killer-ish things I've ever heard. I don't watch Dateline or Criminal Minds or any shows like that because I'm just not interested in that.
Sure.
Just personally, you know, I like your standard horror movies up until the horror movie makes me sad. That's what I don't like. And sometimes sometimes that real life stuff, like, you know, the Dateline, the Criminal Minds, Law and Order, that stuff just makes me sad because I know that something like that took place in reality, and I don't care for that.
Sure.
This manager said to me that not only did he agree with the antagonist's point of view, with the whole Earth being an actual thing, like an entity, an organism on its own.
Right.
He said that in order to, not for word, but close, what I'm about to tell you.
Uh-huh.
I know. He said that not only was the Earth its own organism, he said that in order to appease it of all the natural disasters and various diseases that was going around the globe, this is before the beer flu, mind you, he said that we had to go back and do what the Mayans do with blood and human sacrifices in order to appease the Earth, to stop all this.
Oh.
And yeah.
I thought you were going to tell me he wanted to throw a virgin in a volcano. No. He what a spook.
This dude, he was, and here's the thing, he wasn't joking.
No, I get it.
I worked with this dude for like,
Excuse me.
I worked with this dude for like 2 years. I know when he's joking and I know when he's not, because normally he'll tell you. He straight up, with a straight face, told me that essentially what is wrong with the world is that we are not sacrificing enough people on top of pyramids to appease the Earth.
Uh-huh.
And how?
He's a white guy, right?
Oh, yeah. Oh yeah, definitely. No. This no. This definitely. This wasn't nobody who, if they said that, it would have, I guess, would have made sense. Kind of. I don't want to say that. You know,
we're talking about the nihilistic people that were taught to hate themselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's it.
That's it right there, man.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, just deadpan. Not joking, not grinning, not doing a, hey, gotcha. Straight up told me that where humanity went wrong was when we stopped cutting people's hearts out. That's where, everybody, no, science, no, all the scientists, go home. All the religious people, go home. We figured it out. We stopped cutting people's hearts out of their chests. We're good. That's where we went wrong. We just go back to that. We solve all the things, all the problems.
Maybe you should have kneecapped him real good right there.
I was still.
That's what I want to do to people that start talking like that. I just want to grab them around the neck
and say, just go, "What are you talking about?"
Wait a minute. No. I'm trying to help you out, brother.
Yeah. Just choke them out.
Just wrap them up. All right. Rock-a-bye, baby. In the treetops. Say hello to Jesus for me.
Or whoever you believe in.
You know. That just drives me bananas.
Yeah, that drove me crazy.
Oh, you want to die? Okay, wait a minute.
Give me a minute.
Give me a second.
Yeah.
I'll be over there a little stretching.
Oh, yeah, because it's going to be a struggle.
Ooh. All right.
Because here's the thing. What bugged me the most about people...
Put all my change in my left pocket.
Oh, yeah. What bugged me about people who would talk like that is that it's not... Yes, it was the frequency of which I've heard people say, oh, the Earth is overpopulated. It wasn't just the frequency of how much I saw that as like, oh, the Earth is suffering because humanity is a virus. It wasn't just the rhetoric.
Right.
It was the fact that if prompted with some means of solving the problem, meaning you hand them something that will yeet them into the sun, hypothetically speaking, trying to avoid the censors, they won't do it.
No.
That was always the thing that bugged me, was the fact that when prompted, you give them something to oh, you believe that there should be culling? Let's start with you. And then they start to backpedal and be like, hey, wait a minute.
The line starts right here, buddy.
Yeah, line starts here. You said it. It was your idea.
You're up.
You drew the shortest straw.
You over there. You're on deck.
Yep. On deck, ready to roll.
Yeah, I don't know. It's always people
that killed me.
It's always people that you can see in the background, like the wallpaper on their room is pink or something. It's never
or some weird color of teal.
Problem person.
Yeah,
it's like really. Oh.
Yeah, it's like pink or some off shade of teal or something weird.
You got way too many fans listening to that type of nonsense.
Yeah, that was that just drove me crazy. But then the beer flu happened, and I don't hear people talking like that.
Nope.
I'll give you another example of when I hear.
You know what? If somebody comes on now and talks like that, I feel we have the right to, all gather up and march to their house and do the neighborly thing and help them out.
Oh yeah, because truly that is the neighborly thing at this day and age. I'll give you another example.
I'd like to teach the world to see. Yeah, just like that.
Oh yeah, some Mr. Rogers stuff right there, being neighborly. I would also like to make the addendum that I do not believe that Reverend Rogers promoted genocide. He did not do that.
No.
He was the exact opposite. Yeah, not to get too off topic because I have another story, but I believe Mr. Rogers was the closest thing we're ever going to get to an actual reincarnation of Jesus in our lifetime.
Probably.
Let's just face it, especially you.
Yeah.
He was probably it for.
He was
the closest.
If you're gonna the word altruistic, if it exists,
here's the thing.
He's as close as anybody I have.
You look up altruism in the dictionary or on Google, you see his picture.
Yeah. That
was how he was. But anyway, back to the whole, people talking mad crap before the beer flu came about. I don't want to say this guy's name because once again, monetize and sponsorship, but at the same time, I don't want to make this guy angry just for personal reasons.
Sure.
There is a musician that I really like. I may or may not have talked about him on the show. I don't remember. But I remember hooking into this guy's network to basically see the behind the curtains process of how he's making the upcoming album, which it is 2020, so no one one is getting anything done this year. Yeah, I know. Still, yeah, but then the beer flu happened. And it's like, oh well, I guess this is gonna get delayed until I'm 50. Yeah. No, I have a lot of respect for this dude. He was kind of a trailblazer.
There you go.
Thank you. But then, he was talking about how his upcoming album is inspired by, the climate changing and the Earth being an actual organism and how humanity is a virus. And I just kept going, dude, not you. I mean, I know the people you surround yourself with, but Jeez, come on, not you. And then the beer flu happened, and he stopped talking about that.
Yeah, nobody's talking about it anymore.
I mean, he still talks about it, but not at length like he was doing. I mean, this guy was like holding lectures at some point. It's like, dude.
Well, death is touching everybody.
Oh, yeah.
And action directly or indirectly.
Mm-hmm.
Reshaping the narrative of it.
Can't...
I'm not scared of it. Yeah.
Yeah, you shut up, Fred.
Yeah, you are now.
Shut up, Jimmy. You are scared.
Yeah. Jimmy. Stop
lying to yourself.
Yeah, it happens.
Mm-hmm.
You know,
it's not shameful to be afraid of death.
So I saw a good buddy of mine. Well, I won't go that far. He once was a good buddy. He was a Marine and used to talk about how he wanted to go into combat, and I want to mention any of the superlatives that he used to describe other people he would be in combat with, but he wanted to kill them.
Yeah, he just wanted to.
I told him he needed to calm down. I mean, I appreciate that approach, but we were in a business.
Yeah.
We worked together in a retail situation.
Yeah.
An auto parts store, and
yeah, you can't be talking about killing people on the clock at the retail store as much as you want.
Because I didn't join in with his vigor of his attitude.
Yeah,
although I appreciated it, I just didn't think it needed to be screamed to the top of his lungs in front of customers. And,
that's it.
I ran into him years later after he'd been through some combat over in the Middle East, and he was a different fella.
Yeah,
so he got what he wanted.
But it wasn't what he needed.
Got what he wanted, but it wasn't. But he didn't want it when he got it.
Yep,
so that's what a lot of people are getting right now. You got what you wanted, but you ain't gonna want what you got.
Yeah, and it's only gonna get worse.
Yeah, better get your mind right.
You better get everything right. So, yeah, I'm kind of tapped out. You good?
I'm cool.
All right. Yeah, sorry this was a little bit more serious than we tried to, but some laughs, monetize the pain.
Monetize the pain, baby.
Yeah, that is. Yeah, I'm definitely going to call that. This is definitely what this episode is going to be called. I'm going to call it monetize the pain. Parentheses trademark other parentheses.
Absolutely.
Yeah, that's going to be our slogan from here on in until we find something better. Monetize the pain.
That's right.
Because that is the world we live in, and that is a situation that we have put upon ourselves. Us personally, I mean. I'm kind of tapped out, and I've ran out of ideas. The main thing I wanted to talk about was the other end of the car wreck and the corpse apple tree, so...
Pretty good.
Yeah. I'm going to name my band that, Corpse Apple Tree.
Corpse Apple Tree.
You just watch. I'm going to learn bass, and then I'm going to do it. It'll be like the Gorillas, except with side order of typo negative. That's going to be Corpse Apple Tree.
Ooh. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. I'm just gonna take a good helping of the Gorillas, a good helping of typo negative, side order of the Gary Newmans. I'm just going to...
Gotta have a goal.
Oh, yeah. I mean, what else are we going to do right now? Just sitting at our homes, wasting away, staring at the clock. Might as well do something with our lives.
Absolutely.
All right, well, that's it, folks. I was your host, Bel-E.
That's right. And I was your co-host, Scratch.
And we'll see you guys next Tuesday. Bye.
Goodbye.
Yeah.